Okay, Chris, we have Chris Strong at the seat for those of you flying or on the phone. We're going to ask you 5 questions. Who would like to start the questioning this time?
We just keep the same order, I think that way it has some consistency.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Easier to evaluate,
All right.
I guess, mine.
Then I always end up with 2.
You're the best reader, though.
Okay, if you could please tell us about yourself, background, and why you believe you would be the best qualified to serve as a city council member for the city of Ione.
Okay, so these are new questions for me to read. So my name is Christopher Strong, like you said. I lived in Ione for about 2009, so 10 or 11 years. And best qualified to serve as city council member. Well, this is obviously interesting times. I don't know if I'm going to answer a few questions at once on this, but I don't want to. Maybe
That's
they're
all right.
all blurring
You
together.
can just
Okay.
stream of consciousness, whatever you feel you need to say.
So, my goal and my belief in being on the council would be purely to be the benefit for the city and what would best fit for the city. When I applied for this office is only about 2 weeks ago, and I don't want to, I know there's other people that, well, I have since done more research. First I was thinking it's more of a 10-hour-a-week type thing, but personally for me, and to be effective where I think I would be able to be helpful and to be read up and experienced, not just on city matters, but county implications. And obviously there's issues with me for disclosure, as I have 2 existing contracts with the city. One for environmental consulting for the groundwater monitoring and another for landscaping work. And even though I think I could recuse myself hypothetically if I was on the city council, there could be, the last thing I would want is for some member of the city to see some potential conflict and to become a distraction from the city. And so obviously, and since this last week, as you all know, these are interesting times coming out of the corona. So I'm a father of 3 sons, and in the minor league, little league division, they didn't have a third coach for Ione. So in the past week, I'm looking at the city council demands, and I offered to coach baseball. The kids need to get outside, and they need a coach, 3rd team. So basically what I'd like to humbly, respectfully offer for my services is whatever volunteer things on the side where I could be more involved and be learning, whether it's planning Parks and Rec or the new park going down on West Marlette. I'd like to be available in whatever way benefits the city. And from my experience as a geologist doing consulting work, sometimes honestly it is best just having a completely third-party person dealing with your environmental, so that there's no way they can say you were pressuring the consultant, or whether you did or didn't. So I'm not trying to sort of skirt my way out of this.
Well, I was just going to ask you, are you respectfully withdrawing your application, or are you?
Well, I'm like I said, if this is your vote, if you deem that I would be the most qualified, I'm not going to withdraw my application, but I would offer, with the demands going on with Little League and the potential conflict of interest going on with those 2 contracts I have, and that I would honestly probably discourage against that. It's probably not something that you guys want to handle right now if it ever came up. And I haven't thoroughly looked at all the other candidates, but I would assume the other people that applied and were more experienced with politics were. It'd be hard to argue against that, because basically this whole coronavirus has, I can speak for myself, really woken me up to the levels of control that can be placed over us in our communities. And so I want to be more and more involved in the city to counter that and to keep our communities, to reopen our businesses and to have constitutional protections against vaccines and whatever authority we can have as a city. I'm supporting it, but I possibly with my, and also just to put this out there, I work at the mine right up the hill, which owns a considerable amount of acres nearby the city, so there could be a potential conflict of interest there if someone saw that, you know, if I had an agenda to try to push the mine's interests onto the city or something like that. And honestly, as just a third party, at least for this season and the next 2 years or so, if I could be available to help whatever planning issues or whatever, you know, things that could, where the mine could help support the city, I'm very connected with the mine, so I could be cooperative with that too. So I'm just basically trying to say that I want to help you guys as much as possible. I don't want to waste too much of your time tonight, but if I was chosen, I would have to quit coaching that team to be able to do what I feel would be an effective job. So I hate
With
to
that said, we can put you to work whether you get this or not.
Right.
yeah, and that's
Doing all kinds of cool stuff out there.
Yeah.
And I've worked with you before, we could have some fun, so.
Yeah, so that's where I want to be, and I'd let the more I could. I mean, it's more of it's self-education, right? Because I'm not the type of person where I was, you know, I would want to be a politician. I wanted to be as far away from that as possible. I went into science and other things. So, but honestly, I feel like we're at a point in history in our country where we need to make choices as a city, as a county, that are going to be difficult. And if we band together, because basically I see, and I don't want to ramble on, but our money has gone from Main Street to Amazon, Walmart, and corporate interests, and we have been looted of our local economy. And so those are the type of things, along with just volunteer work, that I want to support however I can.
Okay. Well, that was a long answer.
Thank you,
to-
Chris.
Well, good, thank you.
Rather than try to weasel through, you know, all through these, and it's just, I just wanted this.
Appreciate your being honest, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there's any things in 2, 3, or 4, or 5 that,
I think you
I think you covered them all.
up.
I think you covered it through 10.
We appreciate you at least putting your name in.
Yeah.
I mean, it is it's a commitment.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
There's other
More than
things.
10 hours a week, that's for sure.
and I would like to study up to a level where I feel like I could be part of the city.
Sure.
I just don't think I'm at that point right now.
Well, and
Okay.
I would be a little concerned for you, having the 2 contracts.
Yeah.
There may be, it may be come down to a choice of those contracts or
Well,
sitting on council.
yeah, and the question is, would I be willing to give up those
Those
contracts?
contracts.
Well, maybe, but would the city want to put out a new RFP for the monitoring and go through all that process? I don't think you would either.
I got a fun little project for you. Remember when you asked to change arsenic from a class, whatever it was, to a whatever, when I worked at the mine?
Okay?
You want to attack the water board and tell them to no longer test for iron and manganese and tell them why?
I've already proposed in the monitoring report that we could go from a quarterly to a semi-annual basis, which would that cut your cost in half right
Yes.
there.
You want to
But-
tackle the iron manganese? I can hook you up with
Yeah.
another geologist
Oh,
if
yeah.
you need some help.
If it doesn't turn into, the thing with the water board is once you propose something to them,
Right.
they will put you to work with a million work plans to prove what you,
I've done it.
as long as it doesn't turn into a sinkhole of money for the city, I'm okay.
No, we ain't gonna spend no money. We're just gonna do it.
Yeah. No, I'm all for, yeah.
Thought we were gonna pay you for that.
That's another thing that's, as a geologist, the stuff I
It's a
hear,
volunteer thing, Chris.
It's all volunteer.
I'm sure you could take the volunteer
Yeah, well-
thing real far. But, yeah.
But that is a problem, and I know it's one that you could probably fix, or
Uh,
at least attempt it.
Well, the source of the iron and manganese?
Well, yeah, we talked about it. It's the laterite that's what's doing it, but
Okay, yeah.
We'll
There's
talk sometime
mobilized,
about it.
yeah, iron oxides, yeah.
okay, all right. Well, have any questions for us?
Well, I have more respect for the work you guys do and the amount of reading and time you put in for no pay, and I greatly.
We get $200 a month. What are you talking about?
Hey, that's half unemployment.
Per hour,
We're almost
you're
there.
really- You're talking,
Okay.
Or recycling, whatever.
Well, thanks a lot, Chris, for
Yeah.
coming in.